Okay, I wanted to get on here tonight to talk about what's happening with the migrants up in Colorado and other states, with the migrants that are coming in and taking over people's homes and taking over complexes, apartment complexes, and other things that they are doing. I also want to talk about how the group Hell's Angels are going to be going down to help with the situation that's happening out there. And I just want to say, the first thing I want to say is that I am appreciative that there are still men that are standing up in their communities and in our country still, that there are still real men out there that will stand up to protect, the communities that are here. I also wanted to say that, I think with this situation that's happening with a lot of the migrants and stuff, I think people should just keep this little bit of information in the back of their thoughts, that a lot of these migrants, they have come. I know it might be unpopular what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. A lot of these migrants have come from places and gotten here on, like, I guess, a call from our current administration, leading administration, saying to them, come to America and everything will be the American dream for you. These people didn't come here as in, they're trying to run from a country that's no good to them and that's doing no good for them, which is sad because the way that their country went down, a lot of their countries went down, it's the same way that it seems our country is trying to head itself into. But these people were coerced here for some unknown reason. They were coerced here, and a lot of them went through a lot to get here, which is, their stories are heartbreaking. I don't understand why the administration would have people or encourage people to come here and they didn't have no way of helping them, or they weren't going to help them. I feel that they are using migrants. I think they are using these people, and these people are being put in the middle of something that's very horrible because of the things that they had to go through to get here, and now the things that they have to go through in order to stay here. This is insanity. I think it's very cruel. I think it's inhumane, because I don't think a lot of these people that are migrants want to do the things that they're doing. But what can they do? They were coerced here. They thought that they were going to be a part of the American dream. And they got here, and then they feel that they're about to see a bad thing. They're about to wake up to a nightmare situation that's not good for anyone. I don't understand why that our administration did what it did. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's humane what they're doing. They have to do better. They have to do something. Because now they have them caught in the middle of something that is, what are you going to do? You come all this way to a country you thought was going to welcome you, and then you're not welcomed, and then you're told and forced by all these different mean people that you have to do this, and this. And a lot of those migrants, I don't think they want to hurt people. I don't think they want to commit crimes. They want to come here and work. They want to do what they're supposed to do and live their life, have a good life. I wish they could do that where they're from, because our country really can't handle all those people. And with the money that has been spent, it's not making sense. And it makes our own country vulnerable to other countries, because now we're finding out that, China is paying for, people to be here, the migrants to be here and be forced to do all the things that they're doing. Now, if you're coming from another country you don't know nothing about, and you're not welcome there, and you don't have work, and all you're asking for is work, and then the only work you can get involved with this is the bad kind, because the bad people want you to do crazy stuff and do all of these things. What are you going to do? What can you do? So they're caught between the rock and the hard place, and they're being forced to be foot soldiers. And it's to me, it's messed up, and it's sad, and it's wrong. It's not right. I don't know what our leaders are thinking. I don't know why they would hurt people like that. I don't know why they would hurt us like that. And then we're forced to get into fights with them, because we have to defend our home. And now, in a sense, the administration that we have now calls that a victory, because they can call a civil war. And I think that we should be more strategic before even getting ourselves caught up into that, into some sort of a civil war. Now, we also have people who are protesting, like the Palestine protesters, and you're seeing the hypocrisy of this administration. The pro-Palestine people need to realize that they're Americans too, and that these people are not going to help them. And we are really all we have in America. Our leaders don't care nothing about us. They could care less about us. And I like the situation with the group of Hell's Angels coming up and saying, when they heard the call of a lady saying that she needed help, a man stood up and said, okay, we coming to help you. And I think that that's good. Like I said, in black neighborhoods, they were supposed to go into the black neighborhoods. They tried to go into those neighborhoods first, and take over those neighborhoods. And a lot of people don't care about black people, so it would be somewhat easier. But I guess some people stood up against it. And like I was said, they don't know this area. They don't know nothing about us. So they don't know how to get around or do anything in this area. And that's one of the smartest things. That's the thing that we have in our favor. And like how I was saying, I just think that we should keep in our mind that these people, a lot of them might not be really wanting to fight. A lot of them might not want to be in the situation. They could be looking for help too. So I'm saying for people just to keep that in the back of their minds right there, and so that these people know that they're being used and know that they're being hurt, and they could be looking for help too. And that's a strategy that people could use. You could say, hey, look, if you don't want to fight, we'll help protect you. Tell us who we need to go to stop, because the cartels are the ones that are really the foot soldiers. They're the ones that really want to get in there, and you can't blame them. I mean, they're being given gold mine. So what can you do? So you have to find a way to protect yourself and protect your space, your land, where you live at. And the tragic thing is, you don't hear when these people were being invaded, when their houses were being invaded. They never called the National Guard. They never called any type of reinforcements to stop them, because these are people that are toting powerful guns, and they're from someplace else. That we don't know them. And the government there didn't do anything to help. They didn't get local police to help. Nothing. It had to be a woman, a councilwoman, to get up and stand up to them and say, hey, what are you doing? And for her to ask for help from an unlikely source, but it's still a good source, because it's men. And men are saying, okay, we'll take care of our community. The black community, it's a lot harder. I think that it is good that the Hells Angels are standing up, because the majority of them are white people. And people get angry when I put color into it, but it's a good thing, because a lot of people who are white have a lot of connections. They get connections, or they get more respect from people who would come in, who can come and help, like from the billionaires and all of that. They'll get more respect than versus a black person, because black people, you see what's happening. They're arresting black and Latino people, American black and Latino people, all over the place. And that meant that while they were arresting, they were trying to get rid of and make defenseless black and Latino, American black and Latino neighborhoods, so that they can move these people in. They weren't thinking about groups like Hells Angels or people that are connected to other groups to wake up so fast and say, wait a minute, if they're messing with them, they're going to mess with us. And that's what it is. And in this situation, it's good that we do have the more connected groups going as a front line, so that we can help to defend our areas. Because what it was, they were going to come into our areas. But I guess they don't know. They don't know our areas. So, I don't know what's going on there. But I think that it's good that they are standing up and protecting the community, that men are starting to stand up. And I'm hoping that the black and Latino men do stand up, like that song, They're Not Like Us. Now, I love that song. I love the fact that someone wrote that song and did that song, but it's kind of played if people of that community don't get up and stand up for their community. We need the men to stand up for the community, figure out and strategize like the Hells Angels group is doing. And one of the strategies is, hey, half of those migrants don't want to do this, do that, fight, and all of that. They want to be peaceful. They want to live. What the hell they went through to get here? They went through God knows what to get here. I can't explain it. And it hurts to hear their stories of what they've been through something. They've been through a whole lot, and then to come here and go through what they're going through, to come here, they were lied to. So and it hurts to see people going through something like that. And like how I said, a lot of them don't want to fight. Hey, you get up to the ones that don't want to fight, find out who's really causing the problem, and then you could go confront them and push them out. But I think that's one of the strategies. We have to do something, because this is getting crazy. These people are desperate. They're not wanting to go on a daggone school bus and harass children. They're desperate. Those are desperate measures. Those people are scared, and they're put in this situation. It's not good. And we have to figure this out. We have to figure this mess out that these people they're putting us all through this. And one thing I noticed, that movie Civil War, they haven't released the movie yet to go on TV for free. And I had a funny suspicion as to why, because they try so hard to put stuff out there when they think something is going to go down. And the Civil War that they wanted to go down hasn't happened. The only civil wars that have been happening are the DNC fighting each other. And the DNC, even they had their own protection. They had gates put up, their own border wall around the civic center that they were in. They had guards. They had all of that. You couldn't get in there, but and you couldn't get in there without an ID or anything. You couldn't get in there. You couldn't get in there at all. But our borders were left wide open. Ain't that something? And then whenever they do something, they make sure they have the National Guard. If someone breaks into one of their house, all of a sudden they got to have special police officers for them. Not for anyone else but them. Not even for Trump. They won't even give him that. And he's a former president. So you know something else is running this country and coming after all the people that are here. So like how I said, I think that it is good like for the men to stand up. And I hope that you have a strategy. Just remember that a lot of them might not want to fight. So if someone wants to negotiate, you side eye them and you talk to them. Keep your head, keep your swivel, and then you sit there and you strategize. You find out what the heck is really going on. The National Guard should have been called to help. But we really don't have a National Guard, I don't think. Local police are not even working for us. They're still in denial that they're working for something else. They're not working for the U.S. because of what they're doing. They're trying to put every Black and Latino American in prison that's a young man. All of a sudden we having all these drug arrests and all of this, but migrants are running rampant all over the country doing God knows what, but they have to arrest Black and Latino people. They don't really want to mess with white people as much because white people have connections, or they have a way to get connections, or you don't know who they're related to. Like I said, they could be related to billionaires and stuff like that. People with connection and power. Black people don't have that type of connection because all of our Black leaders and all of our powerful billionaires are all sold out. They're probably not even billionaires anymore. They're just sold out. So they're sold out to something else. And that's what we got to deal with. And like how I said, they're arresting Black and Latino people, American people, because it's easier. It's easier to get at them, but not knowing that a lot of these people, the white American people, they have those connections, and they're able to come out and fight and see what they did with January 6th, how far they got with January 6th. They were able to actually walk in the Capitol with guns. Black people can't do that. Latino Spanish people can't do that. We can't even think we're going to walk into there with guns. But they were able to do that. That's because they have connections. And so I think that it's good that they figure out a strategy. Figure out a strategy. You can have soldiers on your front line. You can have maybe the Hells Angels groups or whatever on that front line, and then Black people come up in the back on some type of support type thing. Because if Black people keep them out of their neighborhoods and be able to put control there, they're definitely not going to really want to go to too many of predominantly Caucasian neighborhoods. They're not going to want to go to those neighborhoods because they don't want to deal with lack of a better word, white influence. They don't want to deal with that. I think that we are fighting with another government. I'm not sure which ones, but I think we are. And I think that's why our administration has been so lax and so lame duckish over everything, because they know what they've done. It feels like they've sold out. It feels like they don't even care. They're like, oh, we got our money. They probably don't even got their money because I've never seen nothing like this. But I don't know. I don't know what to say to it. It just seems it's just too much. But I do think that it is good that, and where is the army? Where are the police officers? Where are they? But you know what? We don't even have an army, I don't think, anymore. Because you have a lot of people that are in the armed forces now that they take certain drugs now, and no one really cares about it, that they're not able to function in a lot of ways. And, and you see that they want to try to draft us. So I don't know if they might try to have a war before the election comes to try to keep themselves in power, which I hope they don't. But I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing. I just think that it sucks. I think that it's bad. I think that it's not right to hurt people like this. Not to have power like that. Not to play like you're God. And then you get people into worse and worse situations. I don't even think they're in a good situation either. I don't. I think that they're, I don't know. Ugh. But, this is what the things that are going on. And I think that but like I said, I think that it's good that they stand up, that they're standing up, that men are standing up and saying, no, you're not going to do this here. You're not going to come here like that, In my mind, look, it's not America is not what you think it is, They gave a rosy, cheeky whole view of it, but it's not what you think it is. You can't just come into someone else's country and just run rugshot all over them. Even though, okay, I'm not even going to go there, but you just shouldn't do that. I think we as all groups need to come together as Americans and help each other as much as we can, especially the men, whatever men that are left out there, that stands up to protect their community. It's going to be hard because I don't understand why there is no National Guard that's here to protect the citizens instead of protect the migrants. And I don't understand why the police are just allowing this to happen, except for the fact that they're under the illusion that they are still patriots and that they are still helping people of our country and that they're working for our country. They're not. They're working for something else, and a lot of them don't want to admit it. So we have to let the police figure that out. We have to let them wake up by themselves. But like how I said, and it's sad because I don't hear people like Farrakhan and all these groups that are just so for, or even the Palestine people that were protesting. They're not up for helping to protect their communities. This is just weird to me. Even though you've seen that the pro-Palestine people, that they were rejected by the DNC people, they're still trying to work with the DNC. That's the only civil war I see. I see the DNC fighting each other like crazy. It doesn't make sense. DNC and Democrats and all of that whole group, they're fighting each other. Not sure why, but they're fighting each other and they're very divided. And that's the only civil war I see. And I'm wondering why the movie is not even coming out for free, because I'm not going to pay for it. I just want to watch the movie, but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to go to the movies for it or anything. I'll wait. But I'm wondering why, because the movie came out for so long ago. It should be free by now. It should be just played, but it's not. And that's because they're doing their scripts. They're going to put the movie out after they get to doing their scripts. This is their script, so the movie's not going to come out until they see a civil war happening in the country. I don't think that they expected that we would rise up to it, that Americans would decide to unify and say we got to put all this down and try to stand up for our community. I don't think that they would have expected, especially the Caucasian community, to actually stand up. And they might have to unify with Black and Latino and everyone else, anyone that's American, because you have to realize we are a mixed pot, but these people are trying to replace Americans. They're not trying to replace white Americans, Indian American, Native Americans, Black Americans, Chinese Americans, Latino Americans. They're trying to replace all of us that are American, or that's what those governments want to do, and have a whole new set of people. So I think that it'll be good that they unify, especially with the fact that America, the only thing that is keeping America is the fact that Black people have contracts with other, like I said, it just goes deep. It just goes deep. And that's the only thing that's keeping them from, that's why they have to make it look as if we're not, we're not civil, we're not anything. They have to do this to let other countries see that, so that they can be justified in what they're doing. But like how I said, I think that it's good that that men are standing up, that the Caucasian men are standing up, and that they understand that they are going to have to, not just Caucasian men that will stand up, and that they are American men, because it's all of us. They're not looking at just us, just white, getting rid of white America or Black America. They're looking at just plain all of us. And that's what those governments are looking for, to replace us with other people that they can do whatever they're trying to do, and it's not right. And it's going to have to be something that's local, because our agencies, and it's like someone has them under a spell or something. And we need to get from under that, because there's a lot of people that are walking around messed up. I told my sister the other day, we were talking about, lately been feeling dizzy and kind of out of it. And no one ever seems to remember about the 5D rollout that happened a while back. And do you notice that people are acting a lot more weirder now? And 5D came from China, I believe, or Japan. And we're walking around under it, and people are not thinking straight. So I think that it's very shocking to a lot of these people that there's still people that can think straight, and I think that is from the grace of God. I think God has a stake in us in this country, and what we're doing, and what's going on with this election. The election is it's just a lot. It's not making sense, for them to actually shoot at a former president. And I have my own thoughts on it, but I just think that it's good that these guys are standing up and doing something, because they should be calling all the agencies to stop these guys from doing this. It makes no sense. It just doesn't make sense. Like, the National Guard should have been called. They should have had homeland security. I mean, these people are coming into our homeland and just acting out. But like how I said, the migrants are in a lot of those people are acting out because they don't have really that much to hope for. So we have to figure that out. We have to figure out how to strategize and do this the right way, you know. But and just keep in mind that maybe we could, I don't know, but you can't just come up and just do those things even though they're desperate. And it's sad because the administration put them in that situation, a very heartbreaking situation. I hate hearing their stories. You know, they're coming from another place and they've seen all these things and they're hurting and they don't know what or who to trust. And it's just not right to do people like that. It's not right to hurt people's spirit like that, their soul. And, you know, and these people don't care, you know. And it's not just, you know, Democrats. It's Republicans too, because sometimes they're playing games. They're like, they're not really doing anything, you know. And I know for a fact, you know, you can't always put your trust in man. But, you know, I'm just hoping that Trump will at least be a little better. I can't fathom that Democrats would even do anything. They're not doing anything now. It's incredible. It's just horrible to look at. It's like it's a bad, not a dream, a joke or something. Like, it's like, we got you, and it's like, you weren't funny. So I think that yep. And with them trying to draft our kids and, well, draft kids into the army, and because of their mistake. And I don't even think we might not even have an army. I don't know, because they won't even show up. And you have these elected officials that are in like Colorado and all this place. They're not even providing no protection for any of the residents. They're just letting everything go crazy and wild. So we have to get them out of there somehow. And maybe this is not the civil war that they wanted. What they wanted was for us to be fighting each other, for the Americans to fight each other. And that's not panning out. We're not fighting each other. We're starting to become more unified. And like how I said, you have to pay attention to what's happening, because they're trying to get rid of all of the Black and Latino, Spanish Americans, and people of color, because that's the easiest one to, in their mind, to replace. But they're having a hard time with that. So they're definitely going to come after white America, because white America still have their contacts. They still have their holds to certain people, certain groups. You have that power. You know, we don't. But those are just my thoughts of what is happening. I hope that these guys do come up with a strategy. I hope Black America comes up with a strategy and stop all the dancing. You know, they're not like us. Yeah, okay. But we need to strategize and get like them, in a sense, and stand up for our communities somehow. Somehow the men stand up for their communities and protect our, at least our homeland. I get tired of us just dancing, and that's our revenge. We have to do more than just dance. But like how I said, I think that they should be the front line. Let them start it off, and then you guys be in the background, support wherever you can, however you can. I hope white America understands that a lot of Black and Latino people are being put in jail off of drug busts and all of this, but they're not doing nothing to migrants. They're trying to make sure that they get rid of Black people and Hispanic people and people of color, or people who are in poor neighborhoods, because they're going to do it. If they do it to Black and Latino people, they're going to come after Caucasian white America as soon as they can. So those are just my thoughts on this. I hope this does help. I hope everything just calms down after the election. But those are my thoughts.